Okay, so picture this. A document just appears online out of nowhere. And it's not just some theory, right? It's a complete, buildable, open-source blueprint for a working wormhole drive. We're talking a full 75-month plan, a detailed budget, and a central claim so wild it could reframe everything we think we know about those strange things we see in the sky. This is the story of V equals vacuum.
And the author doesn't waste any time. They drop this absolute bombshell right at the start. What if all those unidentified aerial phenomena that have had us scratching our heads for decades, the tic-tacs, the gimbal objects, what if they're not visitors from another star, but visitors from another time? And more specifically, what if they're us, from our own future?
And to back up a claim that big, you need some evidence, right? Well, the author presents this, a startling one-to-one match. The tic-tac shape, the weird gimbal rotation, no exhaust, that impossible instant acceleration, all 7 key UAP characteristics are laid out as direct, predictable features of this one specific drive design. The odds of that being a coincidence? According to the author, something like 5,000 to 1 against.
So, that's where we have to start. We're going to dive right into this potential time loop. Is this really a message from the future? A kind of self-fulfilling prophecy written in the language of engineering? Let's find out.
The core idea here is something called a bootstrap loop. Now try to wrap your head around this. The drive gets designed in our time, say 2025, because a craft using that very same drive was spotted back in 2004. But that craft only existed in 2004 because it was going to be built in the future using the 2025 design. It's a perfect, self-contained loop. The information has no real origin point. The invention is literally its own ancestor. All right, let's shift gears from the mind-bending why to the more concrete what. How is this incredible machine actually supposed to work? It's time to deconstruct the V10.0 wormhole drive. Okay, so the heart of this machine is called the Matryoshka shield. And yeah, it's named after those Russian nesting dolls for a reason. It's a set of 7 nested shells, one inside the other. The inner ones are titanium, the outer ones are advanced carbon fiber, and they're all designed to spin against each other faster and faster and faster. So the whole process boils down to 3 crucial steps. First, the shells spin up, reaching a staggering combined speed of over 800 kilometers per second. Step 2, this insane speed supposedly shatters a forgotten physical limit. Not the speed of light, but the speed of cause and effect itself. This pushes the drive into what the author calls an acausal regime, where the normal rules just don't apply anymore. And then step 3. Once it's in that state, the drive can suddenly tap into the raw energy of the vacuum itself to create a stable, human-scale wormhole.
And the kind of power we're talking about here is it's mind-boggling. 47 terawatts. To put that in perspective, that's more than double the entire power consumption of all of human civilization combined. And it's not coming from fuel. It's being pulled from the fabric of empty space in a pulse that lasts less than a single second.
Now, a machine this extraordinary, well, it's got to have some pretty extraordinary physics behind it, right? And the document claims it's built on a foundation of dismissed, forgotten, and brand new science. These are the supposed secret ingredients that unlock space-time.
And the whole thing starts with this really poignant dedication. The entire project is, in a way, a tribute to a Soviet astrophysicist who went to his grave believing his entire life's work was a complete failure. And this is where the story gets really, really interesting.
So, that physicist was Nikolai Kozyrev. And the first secret ingredient is his highly controversial, mostly forgotten theory of causal velocity, which he called C sub 2. He basically proposed that cause and effect, the link between an action and its result, doesn't happen instantly. He said it actually has its own speed limit, and he claimed to have measured it in his lab.
And this is where it gets wild. Check this out. Kozyrev's experiments back in the 70s put that limit somewhere around 700 kilometers per second. Well, the V10.0 drive, with its 7 spinning shells, is calculated to reach a combined velocity of just over 804 kilometers per second. It is specifically engineered to go faster than that limit, to punch right through the causality barrier. But Kozyrev's work is only one part of the puzzle. The document's biggest, most audacious claim, the absolute linchpin of the whole theory, is the discovery of what the author says is a brand new, fundamental constant of nature. And there it is, V, an impossibly small number, 6.26 times 10 to the power of negative 59. According to this manifesto, this little number is the key that unlocks absolutely everything.
So what in the world is V? The author calls it vacuum impedance. The easiest way to think about it is like electrical resistance. V represents the universe's fundamental built-in resistance to being folded. So that tiny number actually represents a colossal barrier. The whole drive, with all its spinning shells, is an engine designed for one single purpose: to overcome that impedance.
Okay, so let's just pause here for a second. If you've just discovered the secret to interstellar travel, maybe even limitless energy, why would you just post the blueprints online for free? Well, the answer gets into a philosophy of what you might call radical openness.
The author's answer is really simple and direct, and I'm quoting from the manifesto here. This work is released completely and irrevocably into the public domain, not because I don't need the money, I do, but because some things are too important to own.
And this philosophy is just baked into the project's DNA. No patents, which means no single person or nation can own it. It's all about developing faster through collaboration, letting the whole world find and fix errors, and crucially, preventing any one group from getting a monopoly on technology this transformative. The bottom line is to make sure the stars belong to everyone.
Now, I know what you're probably thinking. This has got to cost trillions, right? But look at this comparison. The total estimated cost for the whole project, from day one to the first activation, is just under $80 million. That's about half the cost of a single modern fighter jet. All of a sudden, this doesn't feel like some distant sci-fi fantasy. It feels shockingly achievable.
And there's a clear roadmap to get there. A multi-year validation phase to prove the core physics with smaller experiments, then the full construction phase, leading to a target date of 2033 for the very first unmanned activation. It's not laid out like a dream. It's laid out like an engineering project with a schedule and a budget.
And that's where the document leaves us, with a complete blueprint, a philosophical mission, and a plan that seems feasible. Whether it's a work of pure genius, an elaborate fiction, or a genuine message from our own future, it ends with this really profound and unsettling question. The math is there, the physics is proposed, the path is clear. What happens next? Well, apparently, that's up to us.